Are you ready, Ninja Babe? Ready to face your fears, to ignite your passions and break through your limitations? Are you ready to get out of your comfort zone and go after your dreams with unstoppable force? It's happening here on the Ninjababes podcast, the place where women spill it all about self-confidence, courage, and body image. This is where we show our strength. This is the sisterhood where girls gather to empower themselves and each other. Get ready to get rocked, because this is where you come to be encouraged and be transformed in order to live out your full potential. Be proud of yourself, Ninja Babe. Now let's get after it. Welcome to the Ninjababes podcast. Today I am here with Mady Howard. Welcome. How are you?
Hey, thanks so much for having me on. I'm excited to be here.
You're out in Utah, correct?
Yes, St. George, Utah, in the desert.
Pretty cool. Yes. I am all the way out in Jersey, so just still looking at like all the autumn trees and stuff. It's like really pretty, but I've always wanted to go to Utah because it's so different. I feel like it's a completely different world.
Oh, it is. Like, we have the beautiful red rocks here, and I mean, it still is getting like 75, 80 degrees in the middle of the day, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's incredible. Well, so this was your rookie season on A&W, and I've already talked to Sandy Zimmerman and Megan Martin this season, who you competed alongside with in Tacoma. And it just seems like Tacoma was such a powerhouse region for women. It's so cool to see how well all the women did, including yourself. Qualifying, you came in third for the women, ended up falling out on the lightning bolts, then made it on to city finals. You came in 8th overall for guys and girls. So awesome. Ended up falling on the floating monkey bars. And I feel like that obstacle is so grippy. Did it feel like you slipped out when you fell, or like what did you feel like happened when you fell there?
So honestly, once I got to that point, I didn't feel like my grip was pumped out as much. But once I made like that first move, I've never like practiced that obstacle at all before. And so when I got the first monkey bar in, I was honestly shocked. I was like, oh, wow, that was cool. And then I just kept going. And then I fell on the one where it went up a little bit higher. And so at that point, I just feel like my wrist like rolled and gave out. But I honestly didn't feel that pumped. So I think I more just slipped off.
Yeah. Well, either way, it was incredible. And everyone was, I feel like from the women, like we're so proud to see girls get so far, especially when they're like a fresh face that nobody's seen before. So it was like exhilarating for you and Sandy Zimmerman, just like seeing both of you get so far alongside Jessie Graff. Like that's just super cool. How did you feel going into Tacoma? I know we'll get more into your story of like how you got into Ninja and all of that, but being your first season coming out for the show, did you know what to expect? Like, did you have other friends who had competed before?
Yeah, so I was lucky. We have a pretty good gym here. It's called The Grip. And so I actually competed alongside one of my good friends, Holly Beckstrand. And her husband and son, Kai, has been on the show. And so they kind of told me what to expect, which was really nice. And then I just had her there along with me so we could hang out together, and I felt a little bit more comfortable. But I mean, honestly, nobody can really prepare you for what it's like. Like, it's just an awesome environment. And once you get up there with the lights and the cameras and everything, it's just like exhilarating.
Oh, definitely. It's like a one of a kind experience. And being in the dome too was cool. I know you haven't experienced competing outside before this, but the dome was so different. It's like, I felt like, it's like a contained environment. It just felt like I was in a bubble of like security versus being outside where the weather's changing and like the temperature keeps dropping. The dome was really different. But that's awesome that you had like community support and people like helping clue you in beforehand, because that's definitely like a huge comfort to at least know something, even if like you've never experienced it before. It's definitely like different once you're standing up there on the starting block and like producers are telling you to go, and it's really different when you're actually there.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I felt really lucky to be able to compete inside for my first time, because I've heard just how crazy the weather can get and everything. So I think I got really lucky this time.
Well, you did great. Moving on to Vegas,
expect to go to Vegas? Like what was your mindset going into competing this season? Were you like, I'm going all the way, or was it more like, oh, I'm just going to do my best and see what happens?
Yeah, it was more the mindset of I'm just going to do my best and see what happens. Like, I was just super excited for the opportunity. But before that, I had only been training ninja for about like 6 months. And so I kind of was just like, well, we'll see what happens. Like, it'll just be a fun opportunity. And then when I ended up like making it to city finals, and then not only that, but like finishing eighth out of everyone, I was like shocked. So I was just super excited to make it to Vegas.
Yeah, that is so cool. I'm so happy for you.
Thanks.
It's exhilarating just to be there, and then I know what it feels like to like make it onto city finals and be like, wow, I have another chance to like do this again and like get further, and it's really cool. And it's just like, I don't know, how do you feel like that has impacted you now, looking back and just realizing the accomplishment that you made this season?
Yeah. So I don't know that I like realized it in the moment how big of a deal it was because I didn't watch the show as much growing up. But my husband was like a huge fan of this show from the very beginning when it was like Sasuke or whatever. And so he was on the sidelines and he was just like in shock the whole time. He's like, "Is this real life? Like, is
Oh,
this really happening?" And so I feel like after it kind of sunk in, but yeah, I really didn't have that many expectations going into it, which I felt like was a good thing because I wasn't quite as nervous.
yeah, definitely. That's always a good place to be, is just like you're not too much in your own head. You're just like more so having fun and just going into it. Had you competed before in any other sports?
Yeah, so I grew up doing gymnastics and I've been competing since the time I was 6. And then I competed at Southern Utah University as a like a Division 1 college gymnast too. So I've kind of competed my whole life.
Gotcha. Do you feel like gymnastics kind of like help set up your mindset to be ready for competition?
Totally, yeah. And I think it like when I was littler, I was not great at competing, but I feel like the longer I did it, the more I figured it out. And so I feel like once I got to American Ninja Warrior, I like told myself I would get so nervous competing in gymnastics that I told myself if I do Ninja Warrior, like I am going to do this for fun. I'm not going to stress out about it. And so I think having that mindset going into it was really helpful. Like I didn't put too much pressure on myself.
Yeah. What did you do to try not to put pressure on yourself? Because I can imagine once you're there, you might have the temptation of being like, oh, wow, this is actually a big deal, or, oh, like there's so many cameras, like anything like that could creep into your mindset.
Right. I know that's so true. And I feel like going into this year, like I'm a little bit more nervous just because of like the expectation of what I did last year.
Hmm.
So that's a little bit different. But I feel like one thing that I've tried to do is just like when I feel those butterflies in my stomach, just think of having excitement over fear because essentially it's the same feeling. Like your heart gets racing faster, you get that feeling in your stomach. But if you can choose to like be excited about it and be like, no, I'm gonna like crush this. I've been working hard. Then I feel like you'll do a lot better than if you're like scared and just wanting to go hide in a corner.
Yes, Maddie, yes.
I
No,
felt both of those.
I love that. No, it's so true though, because I feel like so many times we don't realize it, but like those struggles in our mind come down to a decision. Even if we feel like I have no control over this emotion of like feeling sick to my stomach because I'm so nervous or whatever. But like you said, I feel like we do have some amount of like decision in the way that we feel, and being able to say in your own mind, like, no, I'm going to be excited about this. Like, I'm feeling my heart racing. I'm feeling all these things. Like, I'm going to choose to allow this to continue to burst into excitement rather than like implode in me and like make me feel debilitated. But it's so true that like oftentimes we don't really think we have a choice in the matter, and we're like, this is what I'm feeling and like this is it. Like I have to just succumb to this emotion. But our emotions are stemmed from thoughts. And if we can kind of recognize the emotion and then sort of back it up and figure out what are the thoughts that are leading me to feel this way, and then sort of in a good way like manipulate our own thoughts to then feel something different, have a different result, it can totally be a game changer.
Yeah, that's so true. Like, I feel like the number one thing that everybody wants to do when they compete is just like stay in the moment. Because if you can stay in the moment and just think of every move like one thing at a time, then you'll do so much better. Like, I hear of a lot of people saying that they like black out when they get up to the start line and they don't remember anything. So I think if you can just fight to like stay in that moment, that your body knows what to do. You just can't let your mind take over.
Yeah, I do hear a lot of people saying that exact same thing. And I think for me, like I never feel that blackout nervousness like at the beginning. It's usually towards the end of my run that all of a sudden like the emotion of like wanting to do so well kind of overtakes my focus. And I think that's personally where I've messed up before, is where I'm like, oh, I want to get past this point so bad that like as I'm getting into that point of the obstacle, it's like all of a sudden that's when I have like that blackout experience, because it's like I think I just get too anxious about like wanting to finish that it's like I lose control of what I'm doing. So that's personally something that I really am working on. Like I know how true it is and I know like how real that is. And I think I'm really good at not being nervous going into it, because I really do, I visualize, I like do all these things to really help me be calm and focus. But it's like in the moment of when it's already happening that I know I personally need to work on those strategies of how to continue that calmness and not let go of it.
Oh yeah, that's so true. Because it's easier to start out well, but it's like keeping that calmness throughout your whole run that's difficult. So I've definitely felt that too.
So this October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, as it is every October. And I'm particularly excited for this month just because I feel like I've finally found a way to make a difference in the whole efforts for awareness and for raising funds for research. There's been ways that I've, just donated in the past or purchased things that some of the proceeds is going toward research. But this month I'm really excited because there is a partnership going on with Sleepovation, which is a company that many of you know I work closely with, and they're sponsors for Ninjababes and the podcast. Sleepovation is partnering with Ninja for a Cure to donate 5% of their total sales from the month of October to breast cancer charities. So they are working directly with Ninja for a Cure to donate. And as you know, Ninja for a Cure is a fundraiser for Breast Cancer Research Foundation. And Ninja for a Cure has been in operation for over 4 years, and they've raised over $57,000 for breast cancer research and awareness over those past 4 years. They've done competitions and taken donations and just done so much great work for the community. And so it's amazing to me to be able to partner with them, with Sleepovation, to really make an effort in donating this month. So I just want to encourage anyone who is interested in buying a mattress or any of their new pillows or anything like that to definitely check it out on sleepovation.com. There's tons of links from the YouTube channel and from the Ninjababes page or from my personal page on Instagram. My name is Kara. But it's just a cool way if you are looking to make purchases like that, or for any other company that's out there that is doing a donation this month, definitely take advantage of it and don't be shy. Like, put money towards it, and know, especially if you're going to buy from Sleepovation, it's going to our friends at Ninja for a Cure. So I'm very excited about that. And if you do make a purchase from Sleepovation, you can still use my code Ninjababes, all caps Ninjababes, and you'll get a $450 discount off your purchase, but still the full 5% will go to Ninja for a Cure. Hey, the podcast is made possible not just by me. There's actually a small but wonderful little group of us who makes the podcast happen. There's B, who's speaking to you right now. Of course, there's the guest who comes onto the show. Then there's our wonderful Ninja podcast editor, Maria Rella. There's also our podcast blog writer for the website, Janelle Copa. And then there's our amazing sponsors. I've already told you about Sleepovation, but maybe you have not yet heard about Propello Life. Propello Life is a non-GMO, all-natural supplement company that makes really amazing whey products, vegan proteins, supplements like amino acids, energy blends. I've been using their products now for several months and I love them. One of my favorite things is how easily the powders blend together when you shake them up in your bottle or put them in your blender. They come out so smooth. There's no gritty taste. There's no weird earthy or like dirt tasting aftertaste. The flavors are awesome. I love the dirty chocolate. That's probably my favorite whey protein. Their amino acids are a BCAA and electrolyte blend that I use daily, even when I'm not working out, just because it helps me stay hydrated and I feel great throughout the day, whether I'm working, doing my daily grind, or if I'm training or at physical therapy, because we all know that that is my grind lately. No matter what I'm doing, it makes me feel great. So try out their products if you haven't tried yet. Head on over to propellolife.com. You can use code Ninjababes, all caps, for 10% off your order. Or if you're still not sure if you want to try the products, or if you're not quite ready to split up with your current whey protein, then head on over to Amazon and you can use all the same perks from Amazon to purchase Propeller Life products. And you can still use my code. So use code 10 Ninjababes for 10% off your Amazon order. And again, still use your Prime, still use all of the awesome benefits from Amazon. You can find links in the show notes from the podcast or from the ninjababes.com. And don't forget, when you use code Ninjababes, you are contributing to the Ninjababes podcast and making it possible for these great episodes to make it into your ears.
So when you were in college gymnastics, what did you do? Like, what was your favorite thing about gymnastics?
So I specialized on floor and vault once I got to college. And my favorite was floor. I always loved like doing the whole floor routine and tumbling.
Mm-hmm.
But once I got to college, I was like so excited not to ever have to do beam again. I hated beam. It terrified me.
Yeah.
So in gymnastics, like all the way up through high school and in club gymnastics, I had quite a few injuries, but nothing too serious. I mean, I had a few sprained ankles, I broke my elbow, I've broken my foot, but they were all injuries that I felt like I was able to like overcome and heal from. And so I always thought that like once I would get to college gymnastics that I would be healthier because we have trainers there, we did ice baths, and we really focused on like rehab a lot more. And so I got to college my freshman year and I actually was a walk-on that year and with the hopes of getting a scholarship the next year. And that was like always my dream growing up was to go to college and to get a scholarship and compete. And so I got there my freshman year, just super excited to be part of a team. And a few months into it, I started like having terrible back pain. And I just noticed one day, like I wasn't able to bend backwards at all. And it got so bad that I like wasn't able to put on my own socks or shoes. Like I'd be having my roommates help me do it. And like I'd have to I'd have to stand in the back of my classes instead of sit there because sitting was just like so painful. And so that was super frustrating because I like that's what I had worked for my whole life was to get to college and then I get there and I wasn't able to do much. And so I ended up going to see the school doctors and I went to several different ones and someone told me I had like a few bulging discs, a different one said I had a herniated disc. And so throughout this whole process, I was getting like, I was doing a bunch of physical therapy. I was icing it and trying to take really good care of my back, but nothing was helping. And so I ended up getting like a few steroid injections from the doctors there. And like they didn't really help at all. And so it got to the point where those doctors were telling me, like, I think it would be in your best interest if you just quit and let your back heal. You don't want this to be something that affects you for the rest of your life. And so, I mean, obviously, to hear that news, I was devastated. But I like wasn't ready to give up yet. And my coach had kind of told me the same thing. He had a conversation with me where he said, like, I care about you more than just a gymnast. I want you to be able to like live a good life after this and not have back pain for the rest of your life. So that was really frustrating. But luckily I have like the best family in the world. And my grandpa knew of like a neuroradiologist up north in northern Utah. And so I went up to him and ended up getting an epidural that actually worked this time. So it wasn't like an injury, though, that I fully recovered from. I still had pain on a daily basis, but that finally made it bearable enough to be able to kind of like alter my gymnastics and make it in a way that I was able to do it without being in excruciating pain. So that was like a tough experience all around. But I was just really grateful that I was able to like adapt my gymnastics so that it wasn't as painful and just find the right movements so that I could actually compete again. And so I ended up being able to, so I had to redshirt my freshman year. I didn't compete at all. And then my sophomore year, I finally was able to start practicing and competing again. And I finally got that scholarship my junior year.
Wow, that was that's a long experience to go through all that.
I know.
No, I'm not meaning to laugh, but like I just mean like that's a lot to go through. Like that's a tough journey of like not knowing what to do, like not knowing what's wrong exactly, and then having to fight to rebuild the skill that you had and figuring out how to do it in a new way. So I'm so curious then, do you still experience pain? Like was there ever a resolve to everything?
So I still do experience a little bit of pain, but it's nothing compared to how it was. And I'm not sure what changed or what happened, but since I've been done with gymnastics, it's gotten a lot better.
Okay.
It doesn't seem to bother it quite as much, but it's not like 100%.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So is that something that you try to monitor and try to, like, if you notice something with Ninja starting to bother you, I'm sure you would like alter what you're doing or try to like take a second to check in with your body?
Yeah, definitely. I just focus a lot more on like stretching now and making sure I'm warming up really good just so that I don't like re-injure it.
Yeah. I think there's so much wisdom in really knowing your body. And I feel like many, if not most of us, have some sort of injury from the past that we've experienced, even if it's just something as simple as like I sprained my ankle. Like all those tears and little compromises in your body they can add up or they can cause like a domino effect of other problems. And I just think it's so important and good to really know your body. And like you said, like really take time to stretch and warm up the right way and take it seriously and just realize like, this is your body and we still want to like live and have fun and do everything. And if we're going to do that, like we need to do it wisely and do it well.
Yeah, that's so true. I felt like when I was 21 years old when I was done with gymnastics, and I felt like a grandma. Like I was like, I don't know how people do this when they get older.
Oh man.
So it's funny.
Yeah. Do you have any other advice for other athletes about just being able to recognize your own, possibly like your own limitations or past injuries and like how to deal with that or how to train in such a way that you're just like very conscious of the state of your body?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Because like you were saying, I feel like everybody has those little things that bother them. So I don't know, at least for me, a lot of times I just want to keep going and like push it even further.
Yeah.
But I feel like I've realized that there's a lot of things that I can still train that don't hurt it. And so just focusing on those things and like if it's something upper body, just do a bunch of balance until you feel like you're recovered and then focus on the other things that you can get really good at while you're injured.
Yeah. Definitely. That's great advice. And I've talked about it on the podcast a million times, but unfortunately this year I've had a lot of injuries. And so in January when I broke my ankle and like messed it up really bad, I was in a boot for a while and then I was still on crutches for a while after that. And I just really had to take the time to focus on upper body, but I got so strong in upper body during that time. And it was like cool to realize like, okay, I have to take a break in one way, and like let my body heal. And like, there's something happening, like my body's doing a lot to heal. So I need to like let it do its thing, but then I can focus on other things, just like you said. And it can really be incredible to see like goals that you can meet even while you're injured and even while you're going through that stuff.
Yeah, that's so true. And it just helps you like stay motivated because I'm one of those people that needs to have like another goal to work for to push me to work harder. So that's a great way to look at it.
Definitely. So then how did you transition into Ninja after college?
So it was like a year and a half after I was done with gymnastics that I finally got into Ninja. And during that year and a half, I would go to the gym and I would like do weights, run on the treadmill, but I was just like bored out of my mind. I was like, working out sucks. So when I was in gymnastics, it never really felt like a chore. Like we had really hard workouts, but I always had somebody telling me what to do, which I really like. And so when I had to like go to the gym and be motivated by myself, I just like felt like I needed something more. And so I finally found Ninja and I like went to the gym to try it out. And I feel like a lot of the things from gymnastics translated really well to Ninja. Like I love doing laches and flying through the air again. And then there were a lot of things that like
Yeah.
I really had to work on. Like when I first got to the Ninja gym, I like tried hanging on a cliffhanger and I was like, what the crap is this? Like I can't even hang on this for a few seconds. So I feel like I really loved that because it just was like another challenge and like something to overcome.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was just watching not that long ago on your Instagram, your continuous lache, like the 8 foot continuous lache back and forth.
Oh yeah,
How many did you get? Because it just didn't stop.
I know. So I got 19 that time,
That's so cool.
and I know I was like so close to getting over 20. So that's my next goal.
Did you not tear at all?
No, I did. I got a rip.
Okay, because I was like watching and I was like, any second now, there's gonna be blood sputtering everywhere. Like,
I know, right? No, I definitely got a rip, but it was only one, so it wasn't that bad.
great job. I feel like
Thanks.
whenever I rip from like big moves and like laches like that, it's usually on my middle finger, like that pad on your hand, but they bleed so bad. Like I feel like other people don't always like gush blood, but mine always do.
It just looks cooler.
That's true.
Yeah. No, mine actually didn't even burst open. It just was like the bubble, and then I just had to pop it. So I got lucky that time.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
So you train at Grit, you said, right?
It's called the grip. Yeah.
The Grip, not Grit. Grit is a gym here.
Oh, is it really?
The Grip. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. So do you have like a favorite thing to train? I know you said you like laches and like being in the air.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite. Is like I love the continuous laches and basically anything swinging and flying. Like I've started doing more like parkour flips and stuff too recently, and that's a lot of fun.
Oh, sweet.
So yeah, I think anything like flying from bar to bar or just like big moves is what I really like.
Yeah, definitely.
What about you?
I I also love being in the air, and just like the getting like huge swings and then being able to like propel yourself. It just feels so crazy. I like wing nuts. I like laches, like anything that you're moving through the air to like get a weird grab or something like that. Um, yeah, so it is weird though because right now I've been out in recovery because I had surgery for a torn labrum. So I haven't done anything upper body in months, and it's just like feels so weird to think now about doing a lache because just like the impact of landing or like landing on a cliffhanger or like whatever it would be, just is like I don't want it to freak me out. I just like I'm realizing I'm gonna have to kind of relearn that, and my range of motion is going to be a little bit different on my left side. Like everything's going to feel a little bit different. So I've been like mentally trying to just like envision what it's going to feel like and like being excited to get back into it. So
Oh, that's awesome. I know.
yeah,
I can't wait for you to get back.
thank you. Yeah, I have been spending a lot of time doing balance stuff, but even I'm not allowed to run yet. And so I can't really do like intense agility yet either.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so it's been like a lot of slow balance, a lot of like weird, like I like doing like movements on a Bosu ball, like balancing. So I'll do like pistol squats or like slowly squat down on one leg and then like bring your other leg like all the way around behind you and like grab your foot and then like I just like do different things like where you're balancing the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Good.
yeah, so it's just been a lot of like slow balance. That's been my ninja for the past like 3 or 4 months. But yeah, I can't wait to get back into it.
Yeah, that'll pay off though. I'm sure it will. Have you
Yeah.
tried like slacklining or stuff like that?
Yes, my boyfriend actually just bought me a freestanding slackline that I can set up anywhere. So,
Oh, that's so fun. I'm
but
obsessed.
yeah, I'm very grateful, and yeah, I'm excited to use it more. I've actually haven't set it up at my house yet. I just got it this week, but I've been slacklining like at the gym and stuff like that at the climbing gym. It's the one of the climbing gyms near me has a slacklining class, which
Oh,
is pretty cool because I can't climb yet unless I was just doing like top roping with one arm and like two legs, which can be a little bit shady. But it's cool that they have the slacklining class.
oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's so much fun.
Yeah. So before we close out, is there any other advice that you have for girls or women that you would just love to share with the world, like something that you've learned or something that you've been thinking a lot about lately?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So we haven't talked much about this, but like I'm also an ICU
Oh
nurse.
yeah.
And so I'm like working in the hospital all day with like super sick patients. A lot of my patients are like intubated, so they have the breathing tube down their throat.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had patients that are like my age that have been paralyzed from doing stuff they love. And so I feel like working in that environment, like it's pushed me even more just to like go after my dreams and live my best life. It like sounds cliche, but I've just seen what can happen and like how quickly life can change.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's like really just pushed me to like do the things I'm scared of and like get out of my comfort zone, and because you never know what could happen.
Yeah. That's so great and that's so important. And thank you for sharing that. I think it's like such a huge reminder. And I think sometimes it's easy to think like, oh, well, like next week I'll do this or like next year I'll get into that or whatever. But like, there's no reason not to just take advantage of all the moments that we have now because it's true. You never know how your life can change. I did not expect to dislocate my shoulder in Vegas this year. So it's like even things like that in training, you never know when an accident or some sort of mistake can happen that can totally change you. Um, so it's so important just to take advantage of every opportunity that we have now.
Yeah, that's so true. Do you feel like getting hurt has like made you appreciate other things about Ninja?
Definitely. I mean, even just the community itself, like I so appreciate all my friends who've been so supportive to me during the past like 4 months of really not being there. So it's been hard to like usually I go to everything. Like I try to drive to every competition that's in the area. I try to like be involved with everything. But even in the midst of having surgery and then doing that, like I couldn't drive because of surgery for a little while, but also my car died the day before surgery. And so,
Oh my goodness.
yeah, so I knew,
That's so
I knew
sad.
when I was recovering, like I couldn't drive anyways for the first couple of weeks. But then even when I could physically drive, I didn't have a car yet. I had to buy a new car. And so I really did feel very physically disconnected from everybody. But it was really great to still have my friends who truly, are part of the ninja community, but are true friends who would always like check in with me and just like come make the trip out to see me or like, just find ways to still be involved. And so, and then even still doing the podcast, like still being involved in the community in that aspect has just been so huge and so great for me. But it also just proves how amazing our community is. And to still like be a part of it and still be able to be encouraging other girls and still like sharing, the wisdom and sharing like the laughs and like just being a part of the community together is amazing. So I definitely have just been convinced even further like how awesome ninjas are, but also not being able to really do ninja the past few months has been hard, and there's definitely been a lot of days that I've just felt very overwhelmed of like, okay, I have to get back into this. It's like it just feels like a very long journey to rebuild strength and to get back. But I miss it. Like I miss doing everything ninja. And so it does make me just appreciate it so much more to think like one day I will be able to do everything again. It's just going to take time to get back in there. But it does make me like appreciate it so much. And I feel like I'm going to cry the first time that I can like do the salmon ladder again or like be climbing like with my left arm again. Like I'm sure I'll be like an emotional mess. I'll just be like so excited to be doing it again.
Oh, I bet. That'll be like the best day ever. How much longer do you have until you can start doing stuff?
Well, I mean, I'm in rehab. I've been doing physical therapy since I dislocated, so since June. And so I've been, as I can, like been regaining range of motion and doing all that stuff. So my PT has really been like my training right now. But as far as doing like real strength training or like ninja, I have 4 more weeks that I'm not allowed to jostle my shoulder. So it's been 3 months post surgery of not really aggressively moving my shoulder. So I can't run still, I can't jump or do any sort of like bounding or anything. So that's why I was saying before with agility, I can do like slow static balance, but I can't do like dynamic agility yet. And so it's 4 more weeks until I can start doing that stuff. And then after the 4 week mark is also when I'm going to no longer have the restriction of a 2 pound weight limit for my left shoulder. So yeah, so then I'll be able to start like lifting heavier weights and things. And obviously like it's like rebuilding everything. So I can't just like jump back into body weight stuff necessarily. Some of it I might have to do like altered push-ups until I can do like regular straight push-ups again, or assisted pull-ups until I can do regular pull-ups again, like all that stuff. It's just like the starting over, like rebuilding all the muscle. So
yeah. Wow, that's crazy. Well,
yeah.
I'm sure you're going to get back into it and you'll be right back up to where you were shortly.
Yeah.
So, but
Thanks.
yeah, it's so crazy. But yeah, I totally agree with what you said about the community. Like that's one thing coming in that I didn't really expect. Like I remember showing up to Tacoma and I like didn't really know anyone except for my one friend that was there with me. But everyone was like so nice. Like Megan Martin and Jesse Graff were like reaching out to me and talking to me. And I was like, wait, what? So I don't know. I just feel like everybody's like so welcoming and wants you to do really well. And it's just like such a wholesome community.
Yeah, definitely. We love our ninjas.
I know. We love our ninjas. And I just love what you're doing too. So thank you for doing this podcast. Like it's so much fun to listen to. So
Oh, thank you. And I'm excited to have you on today. Share your life with the world. Have you had a favorite Ninjababes podcast episode?
Let's see. I loved Jesse Grass. I thought Sandy's was really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I like all of them.
Awesome. Woohoo. So where can people find you, Mady, on the interwebs in the world?
The interwebs. So I mostly hang out on Instagram. My username is Mady. It's MADY _ Howard.
Mm-hmm.
So
Awesome.
yeah, pretty much hang out there.
Sounds good. All right. Well, follow Mady and also check out everything going on the Ninjababes. You can see events and upcoming stuff at the Ninjababes on Instagram, or head on over to the YouTube channel and check out the new videos there, or theninjababes.com if you want to book a workshop for your gym, or one of the new 1-hour one-on-ones, the Consult with Kara's. Those are just a time for you to book a session with me to learn how to strategize, work on your mindset, work on achieving the goals that you have in Ninja and in life. Okay. Thanks, Mady. Thank you so much for being with us. And I can't wait to see all the cool stuff that you have going on. And I want to see you get the over 20 continuous laches on that 8-foot span.
All right, you got it. I'll try that soon. I want to rip again.
All right. Thanks, girl.
Okay, thanks, Chris. See ya. Be strong, be you, be a ninja babe.